All right. So the paint saga. I noticed so I showed you the little spots that are on here where there's like dark spots. I mean, it almost looks like I can describe like chicken pox or something. And when I started, I'd said that maybe I meant to say, if I didn't, that the paint still felt sticky a bit, like gummy. And what I noticed when I was scuffing this and sanding it down, that on the areas that had primer, the paint was hard. And everywhere else, it was still sticky. So in chatting with a fellow that has way more experience than I do, we were thinking about, well, maybe the paint underneath is lacquer or something different, and it's caused a reaction. And a light bulb went off in my head and went, yeah, I've had that before. I can't remember what it was on or what I was doing, but I had that issue in the past where the paint reacted. Now I didn't, fortunately in that situation, I didn't go as far as I had gone in this, where we're basically painted the whole car. But now I've got to basically wipe all of this stuff off. It sucks. It sucks large. I was originally just hoping I could put sealer over top of this to try and just figure it out. But his suggestion was that's just going to cause issues down the road. So I basically need to get a solvent, which I have. I'm going to try a couple different things here. I'm going to start with one, the solvent that I use to clean my guns with, which is basically a paint thinner, whatever, and just see how easily it wipes off. Hopefully it wipes off quite easily. And I'm just going to start wiping this stuff off because I don't think I have any other option at this point, unfortunately. And like I said, everywhere, like I was feeling down below where and that is like cured, whereas if I drag my nails across the top part, it's like sticky. You know, especially, and not in all areas, but most areas, it's like sticky. That's all I can sort of say. So I've got to take all this stuff off and then spray a sealer. Basically, the lesson learned was, had I have sprayed a sealer in the first place, which I got the question of why didn't I? 2 reasons. I was trying to save money. 3 reasons, I guess. Trying to save money, didn't think I had any, and my paint supplier said that I shouldn't have to. Now, no fault to his, because he didn't know what I was spraying on top of. I just said it was a single stage, and he said, yeah, you should be fine. Didn't really even think or get into the fact that it could be a lacquer or something like that. I just said it was painted recently-ish. I don't know when it was painted. I know when the hood was painted, but even the hood is sticky. And I don't understand why the paint that I have is base clear. So I'm thinking whatever he did, he must have mixed clear into the paint and painted it as a single stage. Because when you're sanding it, you shouldn't get color if it's clear on top. It should be clear. It should just be like white dust instead of actual color. So anyways, I don't know. So anyways, the hood was even reacting with it, but I didn't realize. So that's what we got to do. So that's the reason why I didn't, but I should have enough sealer. The can feels heavy enough. Probably got that much in there. This was from the Mercury project when I was spraying the Mercury. So this is the DTM, it's surfacer, sealer, it does everything. Just depends on how thin you mix it. It's black, which I don't know if that's ideal for this color to go on top of. It'll probably make this color a bit darker, but it's what I have. So that's what I'm going to use. Because I'm trying not to spend a ton of money on this. And yeah. So I've got to get to wiping this off here and hopefully it works. So I'm just going to do a test spot, be able to show you guys, and then I'm going to, the doors open, turn the fan on, put a mask on, put gloves on, and just go to town, and hopefully I can get this done quickly, because ideally what I'd like to be able to do is get this cleaned off. The car shouldn't need to be prepped because it was already sanded. So when I wipe this off, it should be fine. So I'll just wipe all this off, and then let the car sort of gas off, whatever, clear off all that solvent. I will do grease and wax again, and then just get into spraying. So basically I can spray this as a sealer, and then the data sheet says, I think it's within 10 or 20 minutes I can go over it with top coat, which would be the base. So you kind of just need to keep going, right? So I need to just keep moving, because about every 10 to 20 minutes you're spraying. Because I think maybe it's a half an hour with the top coat to put clear coat on. I can't remember, I'll look at it. But it's basically like you're just going, you got to keep going. Otherwise, if you leave it, then you're screwed. You have to start over again. The way that the paint's made is you shouldn't, I've never tried any other way. The base coat, if it sits, you have to scuff, put a new base coat on, then clear it again. I don't believe that you can just leave it and put clear, because if you scuff it, it's not going to look the same, and you're going to see the scratches and whatever when you clear it. So you've got to just do, if you're going to do sealer, do your sealer. Now, if you were using this as a primer and surfacer, you would spray this, sure, then you can sand it, blah, 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 and either top coat over top of that, or spray this as a sealer over top of your primer. But you got to basically just keep going. So basically, once you start, you kind of can't stop, or you'd screw up the whole process. So that's why I'm hoping to be able to get this wiped off, and then I'd like to be able to, it's early enough in the day, I should be able to just keep going and spray all this out. So, trying to explain that so that you understand and you sort of know what I'm going through. So if you're going to try painting your car yourself, which I think you should, don't be afraid of that. It's just, here's what I went through. Oh crap, basically. Yeah, so if you know, I'm going through the struggles to hopefully so you don't. I guess is the easiest way to say it. So, yeah, hopefully you won't go through this. Rawr. All right, I'm going to get a cloth here and try to wipe this down. All right. Oh. So I think it's going to work, and work not too bad. I think you got to just keep having this thing wet. If I had this in a spray jug, it'd probably be easier because I could spray a little bit more on or whatever. But it looks like this is going to work. So I'm just going to, gloves on, put gloves on, mask up, and start wiping this thing down. Oh, it's not going to be fun. All right, see you in a bit. Wait a minute, why am I doing this? Where's my apprentice? Apprentice! Where are you? Oh wait, that's just me. Alright, so wiped the car down a million times, washed all the other yucky paint off, and now I'm ready to, oh, I gotta check my masking tape, I see something's up there. So now I'm gonna prime the car or sealer the car. Basically it's the same thing. If you hear someone say sealer, primer, I didn't understand the difference before, but basically it's like, I guess there is a different product for it, but the one that I have can be a sealer or a primer or a surfacer. And what they mean by surfacer is you're going to put it on thick so that you could sand it back to try and get the surface really, really smooth. Or you can spray it thinner and then it's like a primer or sealer. Same idea. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to thin it out so it's a primer sealer. Basically, once I start this process, I'm not going to stop. So I'm going to just keep going because I'm going to put the primer sealer on. And then I think it says wait, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. And then I can start with my base coat again. So then I'm just going to do my base coats. And then wait till that tacks off, which again I think is about 15-20 minutes, somewhere in there. And then clear coat, and then I'll be done. So I'll probably do 3 coats of clear. I don't know, I'll do it till I'm done, I guess. I don't know how much clear coat I have, but definitely 2 coats of clear coat. And then hopefully everything works out and doesn't look like crap again. So that's the plan. I'm going to get to mixing the primer and get all my stuff ready to start spraying. And I'm just going to go for it. And hopefully I don't have the same issue. Because if I do, then I don't know. Anyways, that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to get to going here. Well, here it is, painted, finally. Not without issues, unfortunately. I'll take you around and show you some of the stuff that happened, but let me explain what was going on in the video. So, wiped it all off, we know my first paint issue, right? So then finished wiping it off and started spraying. So I put down the sealer and then base coat, and unfortunately what happened is I noticed everything was smooth before, but I guess whatever happened with wiping it down and whatnot, I've got a few flaws in the bodywork. There's a couple spots on the hood. There's a paint screw up here that I tried to fix and screwed up, and on the doors, and I got a couple runs on this mirror, which is unfortunate, but I mean, other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. Is there dirt in the paint? Absolutely. Does it look better than it did before? I hope so. There's a little bit of splotchiness I just noticed here on the hood. And there's a little bit on the trunk that I just couldn't get rid of. It's one of the, being an amateur and spraying a paint like this that has a metallic in it, it's pretty hard to get it to be smooth. To be honest, had I have known it was the stuff that was on here before was a solid color. Had I have known that this was going to have metallics, I probably would have just said, can you do it as a solid color, take the metallics out for this paint job. And for the level that we were going of this paint job, that probably would have been better. But anyways, it's painted. It's all one color. And it should look better than it did. So I'm going to start peeling the tape off, which is the most satisfying part of this whole job. I'm actually up early. I was up all night thinking about this, and so now I'm going to start peeling the tape off and get this thing into my car again. General idea of what it's going to look like. I'm going to continue on peeling all this off because I know it's maybe somewhat tedious to watch. So I'm just going to finish peeling all the rest of this off, and I'll check back with you in a bit and show you all the boo-boos that I've got. All right, here we are. Oh, I forgot one last little thing down here. Pull that off. There we go. Okay, well, there she is unpeeled. So I got a bit of splotching here on the trunk. Some dirt nibs you can see. This side of the car turned out pretty bad. All the bodywork stuff, I mean, you guys can't see it standing there now, but if I hold the camera this way, maybe you can. No, not really. I don't know if you can see. Oh, see, there now you can kind of see it. There's lines. And when I washed the car off, for whatever reason, I guess this was all smooth. When I did that first bad coat, this was all smooth. All my bodywork was smooth. So for whatever reason, I guess when I was washing the car off, the primer, you know what it probably was? It was the primer was filling that in, and I washed it away. So now I've got edges on my bodywork. Oh, I got a bit of a run there. I don't think that was a run. My gun was dripping. So you can kind of see it there. I don't know if you could polish that flat by doing a wet sand and polish. See all this door And you guys can't, oh, there, see? So you could maybe wet sand that out, maybe if you did a wet sand and polish. But if you remember, and I can do a shot of this whole side of the car. This whole side of the car was pretty bad with a bunch of rust bubbles around the emblem, all along here, down the bottom. There was a big rust spot right in the middle of the door, which is now obviously gone. A bunch of weird stuff on the door here. You can see my lines in the door here-ish, yeah, see? So hopefully it's got 3 coats of clear coat on it. Well, hopefully once this hardens, that can be wet sanded off. The roof turned out pretty good. I got a couple drops of clear coat because my gun was dripping. I only did 2 coats on the top because I just figured, meh, it's the roof. It's a little orange peely, but to be expected. Again, there's quite a bit of dirt here, and I mean, look at the conditions I'm shooting in. But the hood turned out pretty good. Pretty happy with it. Not too much orange peel on the hood. Looks pretty good, nice and smooth. I'll show you up close. See, very, very minimal orange peel up here. And then same sort of thing, unfortunately, on the hood. I don't know if I can show it, but there's a couple goofy spots on the hood. Again, I don't know if you wet sanded it, if I could get that out, maybe. But overall, this looked good. Remember, this was pretty rusty and gross, so now it's smoothed out, looks good. Door looks good. So this is my only real major boo-boo runs in the clear coat was here. I guess I got too much on that mirror, not enough on the bottom, and it dripped off onto there. So not a huge deal. I mean, you could really just take that mirror off and fix it up. Oh, and there is a run here I just noticed. I got a clear coat run in the door here. Again, all that can be taken care of. Oh, and then here on the door, I kind of messed up. I got a run and I tried to smooth it out and fix it, but that's what it looked like. So again, I don't know if I wet sanded that, what it would do. The roof on this side looks pretty good. Again, down here. So again, we have a bit of that issue with the filler on that side, but this side looks pretty good. A little bit of a run there. Meh, all that can be polished out. Again, not too much orange peel. So I'm happy with that. And overall, I think the car looks pretty good. Now, it is obvious, it is darker than the other color. It's almost more of a copper. It'd be interesting to see what it looks like in the sunlight. But it's almost more of a copper color. But this is off the original paint code. And here we are. I mean, I think overall, I think the car looks a lot more presentable with a lot of that rust cleaned up, even with all the runs and whatever. What do you think? You tell me. I mean, it's a home paint job. Did it for myself. So material wise, I don't know. Let's talk about that. Add that up. All right. So I've got probably right now, I'm going to say about $1,000 into materials. Now, that's because partway through, I ran out of base and had to go get more, and had to buy a couple other supplies, again, because I ran out. So that added up to basically another $500. So the original supply run for material was about $300. And then of course the added $500. So if you budget for yourself anywhere between $500 to $800 is basically what this would cost you in materials. Now that I'm adding in there you know, some extra for sandpaper and tape and all that kind of stuff. So again, a home paint job for 800 bucks, 500, 600, 800 bucks and a bunch of labor. Again, my issues were my issues, and I showed that to you. So just remember, if you're painting an older car, what would have saved me all this aggravation is if I had to just put the sealer down. So anyways, that's where we're at, and I think it looks better. I mean, even with the dirt nibs, again, a polishing on this would probably get rid of a bunch of these nibs. So it just depends on how crazy you want to go. But I mean, this is a presentable driver cruiser. Take it to your cruise night. You know, we can clean all this stuff up, make it look a lot better. You know, polish up the stainless a little bit more. But this is a, you know, a nice driver cruise night, go to car shows, and just have a lot of fun in it. So I'm pretty happy with how this came out. You tell me what you think. I mean, again, this is not my first time painting a car, but I'm still amateur at this. This is my third or fourth car-ish. So you tell me what you think. But I'm pretty happy with that. And hey, thanks for tagging along on this. Next up, we'll be back on the C50, getting it up and running, and getting that project done. So hey, thanks for tagging along. Just remember, failure is not an option. You just gotta keep going.
I'm going to bed for like a week.